Anastasia's journey. Anastasia, a grumpy young spider, is bored. Please fill in your name. Hi, Maeve. What does Anastasia look like? Anastasia sneezed. She scratched her head and looked through the threads of her web. Not that there was a lot to see around her. Her two sisters held a competition. Who could weave the longest thread? Boring! Her parents were weaving a round web in an old suitcase. As if that was interesting. What does a round web in a suitcase look like? Should Anastasia weave a new web as well? Another nice square web? What does a square web look like? For what? To catch another fly and eat it, so that her sisters would again sing,
Skinny, skinny spider, you eat, but you'll always be a skinny, skinny spider.
Silly, dusty attic they all lived in. An old black box, an old mirror, and a very old rocking horse that was losing all its straw. That's all it was. What does the attic look like? Nothing ever happened in the attic, but Anastasia's sisters were happy there. Her parents were happy. Everybody was happy, except Anastasia. Happy with what? Weave a web to catch a stupid fly, hold a competition, day after day after day. Anastasia's mother told her that she should be happy about the peace and quiet. At least the gigantic, scary slurper didn't bother them. What does a gigantic, scary slurper look like? The gigantic, scary slurper didn't live here. The gigantic, scary slurper lived downstairs. Anastasia should be happy about that, because the gigantic, scary slurper ate spiders. He loved spiders. He chased them around, everywhere. The gigantic, scary slurper ate Cousin Nick. Her mother always started to cry when she talked about Cousin Nick. Cousin Nick was an extremely special spider. His webs were extremely beautiful. Anastasia hated Cousin Nick. Cousin Nick with his stupid webs. Her mother never looked at Anastasia's webs. She only talked about Nick's webs. His great webs. How great could this guy have been if he had let himself be eaten by the gigantic, scary slurper? When Anastasia was really grumpy like this, her mother told her about her great-great-grandmother. Her great-great-grandmother Anastasia. What does great-great-grandmother Anastasia look like? Anastasia? Who else was called Anastasia? No one. At least, Anastasia knew no one. Her mother said she was named after her great-great-grandmother, who had lived in Russia. Over there, Anastasia was a common name. In fact, nearly everybody was called Anastasia in Russia. Russia? Anastasia didn't think that could be true. No one ever went anywhere, certainly not Russia, which sounded like it was very far away. Maybe someday Anastasia would go to Russia. Anastasia went to sleep, and she dreamed about Russia, about hundreds of Anastasias, all playing and laughing together, weaving one gigantic web, one gigantic square web. Now, what do you want to do?
The story continues. Anastasia leaves the attic to confront the gigantic, scary slurper. Anastasia meets Clementine, who also weaves square webs. Together,
Anastasia and Clementine travel the world trying to get to Russia. When they finally get to Russia, they don't only find one Anastasia, they find thousands. Anastasia and Clementine come back to the attic where they play web tennis with Anastasia's two sisters and beat them. Anastasia will never be laughed at again.